Hey everyone, it's 10 Types, and today I'm going to be talking about and ranking all the decks in the post-rotation format, with the exception of, I guess, a few decks that are like essentially the same, like different builds of Archaludon. But I'm going to be ranking all the decks that I think are good and some that I don't think are good, because now we finally have, now the set's been out, journeyed together, and rotation has happened, and been a thing for a little while now, so I have better data. I've played with them. I imagine a lot of you have played with them as well, but if you're not familiar, rotation removed all the cards from the Sword and Shield era from the format, so now the game is Scarlet and Violet on, so then it's 2 years and the newest expansion journey together. So then we have the Trainers Pokemon, and we'll be ranking all the decks here. Quickly, S tier is like absurdly like broken kind of tier. A tier is like quite good, like top tier. B tier, like, so there doesn't have to be an S tier, but there realistically needs to be an A tier. B tier is still like pretty decent. C tier is like mediocre, not super inspiring, but could be better, could be worse. D tier is like bad, and then F tier is like you really shouldn't ever be playing this. It's pretty terrible. Unless you like really enjoy it, you shouldn't be playing it. And we have a bunch of different decks here. Oh, I just realized I don't know what all of these. Some of these are like a little weird because it's just a Pokemon. I actually made this tier list before, and I'm now adding more decks that we've seen being played in the post-rotation format. Limitless has updated that, so that's pretty cool. But the first deck we'll take a look at here is going to be Dragapult. Dragapult, I played some, and it's okay, but it hasn't been as good as I was hoping it would be. I'll actually include the Stage 2 decks here. In general, we'll talk about all of these, we'll talk about these Stage 2 decks. Oh, apparently Hydreigon's on here twice, so oops. But Dragapult is a deck that is, so I thought it was going to be like absurdly broken. It's been okay. You can look at, say, like its win rate here, and it's not super impressive. Obviously, Dragapult EX doesn't have a weakness, but it does with Liz Clefairy EX, which is a bit of an issue. And something like Badoo is kind of important for it, kind of replacing Rotom V in some ways, because it's like turn one, you're not looking to, well, you're all trying to set up, but you won't set up as consistently, right? That's just, losing pieces will have that happen. And then you'll be relying on slowing down your opponent, but Badoo's like a let's put them really high downside, right? It has really high upside, really high downside, or I guess like the floor is really bad because it's super weak. And so your opponent might just be able to go through it sometimes. Obviously, it depends on the matchup. Sometimes you just don't want to use it, but there are times you don't really have options. I found the list that people have been playing to be like super inconsistent to me. I've changed it. I think the deck's still good. I don't think it's in the S tier like I would have put it in. I'll put it in A tier. It's not going to be the top deck, I'm pretty sure. It's still good though. Obviously, Dracloak drawing cards is nice. Then we have Charizard. I have not actually played Charizard post rotation. I don't think. I don't think there's really too much to say about the deck. It's like fine. I'll put it in. I could put it in A tier. Oh, Dragapult also lacks like enough damage all the time as well. That's an issue for it. Charizard can also have that issue sometimes. I don't know. Like it's obviously not as big of an issue, but because you can do more damage, like specifically in the late game, so that can be good. And you're actually being targeted less for weakness. A lot of decks are targeting Dragapult, so that's partially why it's not quite as good. But I'll put Charizard in B tier. I don't think it's anything super special, but it's fine. It's like a solid deck. You can't pressure the bench like Dragapult can. Dragapult being able to pressure the bench is obviously nice, but it's not useful all the time. Some decks get destroyed by it, like single prize based decks, but a lot of decks it's not that big of a deal. It depends. I mean, it's going to be nice for Dragapult no matter what, and obviously can synergize with the Dusclops Dusknoir. So there's a lot of different things going on, but Charizard is like, it's not as good as Dragapult still. And then we have Gardevoir. Gardevoir is pretty good. It's a deck I think I've also played. I played against though a bunch post rotation, and I've like seen some stuff about it. I think it's okay. You have okay, I think Explorer's Guidance is kind of weird, but you obviously are losing the Curlia, so I mean, that's why it's here. Losing Curlia Renekton just kind of bad, but you're really good against like Dragapult. Well, I don't know. You're able to like one-shot Dragapult, which is really good, and you can play Liz Clefairy EX and UEX to kind of destroy them in certain situations. And Monkey Dory is still good. The Pokemon that were like the core of the deck outside of Curlia are all still there. I mean, you could say Renekton is just part of the core of the deck, but like the attackers and the ability, like Pokemon to power it up. that stuff is all still there. So I think Gardevoir is a still is good. I think it's not as good obviously in terms of power, like power level. It's weaker, but other decks are weaker as well. So I'd actually put it still in A tier. Um, I don't know. I'm not really a big Gardevoir fan. Like I think it's fine. It's not my favorite deck, so it's cool though. It's like more of a stage two deck now because you're really rare candying. Before you weren't rare candying much. You could, you didn't have to. I think Curly is like just, I mean, this Curly is terrible, right? Obviously, it doesn't like do anything special. It's just a generic stage one that I guess does this. I didn't know what his attack was to be honest, but it's not very good. And then Drifloon is like still good for one-shotting, and you're like not vulnerable to Lost Vacuum now, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, the deck's like it's still pretty good. A tier is going to be the top tier. Dragapult, I don't think will be the. I don't know. I don't think I'll have an S tier deck. Then we have Mamoswine. Mamoswine's pretty bad, I think. I have not played Mamoswine. I've not seen anyone play Mamoswine. I have it because it's a new deck. Figured I'd talk about it. It might be on the top 20. Yeah, it's deck 15. Its win rate's like super bad. It's by far the worst win rate of the top. I think it might be all. Oh no, it's not the lowest of all of the top 50 decks, but it's pretty low. It's the like fifth, but it's like these other decks no one's really playing much at all. Mamoswine's super bad, unfortunately. I think I haven't, or it's not like unplayably bad, but it's you're handicapping yourself a lot by playing the deck. It's like a deck if you enjoy, you can play it some, I guess. It's not unplayable, but it's not super strong. Oh, I guess it's like strong when set up. It's super hard to set up. You need a bunch of stage twos, which is like almost impossible to do, right? I think this is one of the free decks. I've had actually issues with that. I didn't get them all, but that's cool enough. I don't know if it is, but I think it is, but it's still not super strong. And though I'll probably cover it at some point. Then I have Hydreigon. Hydreigon's also like pretty similar. It's a stage two deck, kind of gimmicky. You have like some kind of cool high upside. It's a little better than, I mean, just looking at win rate, it's like a little better than Mamoswine. These like stats aren't super relevant right now. It's a little early on and stuff, but still, that's a way to see how good things are, and that's not a great look. So I'll put it in D tier above Mamoswine, I guess. Certainly not a great deck though. Pidgeot Control is apparently still something people are playing. I honestly don't. Oh wow, that's not even a list I can look at. I don't know what's in it. Oh, this looks pretty similar to this list, which I also saw. I don't know too much about this deck, to be honest, really at all. I don't really know how it works. But yeah, this is the deck I'm least informed on because I thought people weren't going to play it because like a lot of the stuff rotated, but some of the stuff didn't rotate. Pidgeot EX itself obviously didn't rotate, so it's kind of counter boxy, I guess. With obviously control elements. I mean, it's like a control deck. I guess it's okay. I'll put it in C tier. Will require more info on that one to be able to judge better at some point in the future. It's got an even win rate we see here. Or no, win-loss record, I guess, would be more accurate there. And so it might be okay. I'm sure it still needs to get developed as well. It's probably the deck. It's probably the deck that needs to be the most developed, if I had to guess. Obviously, there's like Zacian and Zoroark and EX and stuff like that, which are new, but I think this probably needs the most development. Then let's talk about are there other stage twos? I guess there. I'll talk about Aegislash and I'll talk about Walls as well here. I'll talk about the other like control decks, to be honest. Yeah, well, we'll include these here, but Aegislash Wall, Aegislash, right? That's the main Pokemon. I think this deck's pretty bad. I've said that before. I stand by it. Haven't really played against it post-rotation, I don't think, but I've certainly played against it pre-rotation. Where is it? Oh, it's not here, apparently. I don't, okay, someone, like a couple of people played it, and, very little. So, Aegislash, you wall, yep. I don't know. I think this deck's pretty bad, to be honest. Like, you're able to wall stuff. I think the regular walling deck from Melodic EX with Mimikyu and Cornerstone Master Ogre EX and, like, Frigiraffe EX is better. Aegislash isn't a very good attacker. It's not super tanky. I'm just, like, well, okay, it's tanky because of its ability, but its HP isn't... it's better than Mimikyu. It's like over twice as much, which is good, but I still think it's a stage 2, right? That's way worse. And its attack's not that much better, and it's pretty bad. It's just an unfortunately pretty terrible. It's not terrible, but it's it's not strong compared to these other decks. I think it's pretty terrible, and would not recommend. I've said this before, and I mean, it obviously doesn't. I don't think anyone's arguing it's great. I think it's quite bad though, because you don't have that upside. You can like run into auto wins, I guess, but maybe I don't even know what those matchups would be because if your opponent has like some form of counterplay, it's probably not going to go so good. But anyways, yeah, it's not super strong. Then we have the other wall deck though, the Milotic deck, which is the where is it? The Milotic deck, which is somewhere here, which I've somehow lost. Oh, it's down here. Okay, so Milotic is okay with like the walls deck. I do think Mimikyu is really good in this deck. I'd definitely play it. I haven't really messed with this too much, and I haven't really seen it that much, but I've seen it a little, I think. This deck was really popular in Japan, and not, obviously not because it's it's newer because people are playing it now and they weren't playing it before, but it's not a deck that is like lots of new cards. So that's kind of interesting to note, but so it's not just hype, right? Sometimes you see decks that are just built on hype, but it has some element of that. I think the deck's okay. Obviously, kind of reliant on like good matchups versus bad matchups. Oh, apparently its win rate's pretty bad. I think it's like okay, though. It's really targeting like Dragapult and Raging Bolt, which in Japan these decks were played more. They make up, it looks like about like 20. Well, I'll round up and say 25% of the metagame, which is like half as much as it is in Japan. So that's a pretty big difference for like a pure simple walling deck, a simple stall-based deck. So I think it has potential. I'll put it in C tier. I could even put it in B tier. I wouldn't hate that. I think it needs to adapt a little. I think people are just like copying it from Japan, and it's a metagame dependent deck, right? So you need to make sure that you adapt to the metagame, and I think you can do that. I definitely recommend Mimikyu. Mimikyu's good. Really difficult to deal with. I still stand by the fact that Mimikyu Luxurious Cape is like stupid good. It's so strong, so difficult to deal with. I'll actually talk about that right now with Feraligatr. Feraligatr is a really cool deck as well. This is one that I think is the biggest issue. I was really interested in this pre-rotation. Like I was looking at it pre-rotation for the post-rotation build, and I thought it looked really interesting. But it has serious consistency issues. This one plays Prime Catcher. Okay, I would not play Prime Catcher on the list. I'd play Grand Tree. I'd definitely play Grand Tree. But you don't have to play Grand Tree. I've seen lists play Precious Trolley, but I think you don't need Prime Catcher. Like Counter Catcher is okay, and yeah, you need as much help as you can get support-wise. As I said, I'd recommend Grand Tree. It plays a Rare Candidacy, and plays one Ultra Ball, and plays two TM Evolution, and it plays like some Arbans, but that's not necessarily enough. So, anyways, Luxurious Cape. Also, like how to play this deck. Some people are confused by it. You want a Luxurious Cape, the Mimikyu, because Mimikyu is not tanky enough to survive hits from Dragaloak and Fan Rotom and things like that, but those two specifically, they just one-shot it. In decks where generally the other things are you're going to wall the other things. And also, if your opponent's going after you, well, Duskform wouldn't knock you out, but they knock you out through the effect of, not from damage from an attack. If they do anything else, then they won't be getting the extra prize. So, and just Luxurious Cape your Mimikyu, don't Luxurious Cape your like Feraligatrs, especially like your Totodiles. That's just so bad because your opponent will be able to easily one-shot you. By just doing their normal stuff, and then they'll get an extra prize, which is like the whole point of playing a single prize deck usually is to give up one prize. So anyways, that's a thing. But anyways, the deck's like okay, it's super inconsistent. I thought this deck was gonna be really good, really cool. You have the Totodile trapping options, you have the Croconaw hit and run and wall stall options with like Mimikyu. You could play it with Milotic. I would definitely not recommend that. Originally I was like, oh, Milotic is okay, but not what I'd recommend. But now the Dragapult's even less than it's like half as much as it was in Japan. I'd say that even more. Definitely don't play Milotic in it. You could if you really want to. I guess. I mean, you can put in whatever you want, but I would not do that. I'd just play it with Mimikyu and also put in a Psychic. This plays two Luminous, but I'd personally do a Psychic. And anyways, I've talked about this deck a bunch of the channel, but I think it's okay. I'll put it in C tier here, but it's not super strong. We have Badoo. Badoo's like, I'm not actually sure what this Badoo deck is supposed to be honest. I did play the burn build. That's like kind of bad. It's actually, no, it's pretty bad. I'll say this is like Badoo with Frostlass, because Hop Zacian EX also is Frostlass. And there's different Frostlass builds. So the Hop Zacian EX can access like if you're playing Frostlass, or even if you're not playing Frostlass, if you're playing Munkidori, because some of the Munkidori builds don't play Frostlass, some do, um, then you're not using the second attack. Hop Zacian EX's second attack is kind of good. I mean, it's really good if you can get it powered up, but that's not super doable consistently. The Hops Zacian decks, I'm just going to quickly open a few here to see what they are looking like. This one okay, this is a Duraludon Archaludon list. This one plays no basic energies. Okay, this one is first attack Iron Valiant deck. I did see this deck. Then this one is Munkidori. And then in no Frostlass, and then the next one is closed. Okay. Let's find another list. That one's also closed. Okay, here we go. This one is also Archaludon. So I'll say like I'll just kind of mix and match the different builds and say like you can do some of the stuff. But yeah, I think this deck's okay. I think it has potential, but I'm going to put in C tier. I was a little underwhelmed by it so far, but I think it has serious potential to be decent. This might feel a bit more like a B tier deck. I'll put a B tier. You have different spread options. Spread's not super good from like different decks. As I've been playing them, spread's okay. And you're not doing that much spread. You're doing mostly active and it's just like not that much. So being weak is not the same thing as being a spread deck, but Hop Zacian EX is like an interesting Pokemon. It's pretty cheap and it can do some cool things. Overall, it's fine. I think it's playable, so I'll put in B tier playable, and like you can win with it. Badoo, you have like Badoo Frostlass, and there's some different Badoo things. Badoo's okay. I would not really build a deck around it, though. It's a little bit of like a meme deck, to be honest. Badoo's like a good Pokemon. I think it's a little overrated. I mean, I think it's good, but I don't think it's like in the top 5 Pokemon of the game, which I think a lot of people would put it in. I wouldn't say that's crazy if you do. I just think it's a tiny bit overrated. But anyways, Badoo's fine, but it's not really. I mean, it has, as I said it at the beginning of the video, it has some serious downside, and that downside gets really, it becomes really visible when you're playing with a Badoo-based deck. Then you probably will consistently find yourself running into weird things that are just going to cause you to lose the game. Then we have the Future Box deck. I'm not super familiar with this deck. Well, I guess I'm familiar with it. I haven't really played it. I haven't played it in a long time. It's like fine. I don't really know what to say about this deck. It's the Electric Generator deck if you want to play that. Rhydon's like cool, I guess. I don't know. I don't really know what to say about this deck. It's not super strong. It's like not terrible. I'll put it in C tier, I guess. It's not spectacular. Doesn't really stand out. You do have Iron Hands EX to take extra prizes, which is good. Against certain decks, it's not good enough against every deck. It's again one of these decks that doesn't quite hit enough damage to like. I mean, it doesn't one-shot everything. It's not even that close to one-shotting everything, so it's fine. I don't really know what to say about it. It's nothing super spectacular. Also, why does it play Festival Grounds? I saw this. I was like really confused by that. So if anyone knows, could you tell me? Because Festival Grounds, okay, I cannot see like any of these lists. There we go. This one does not. This one plays Town Store. So is Festival Ground, is this the right cards? Because it says you can like remove special conditions. But that seems like really niche, right? Like you're not special conditioning yourself. Is it like remove poison or something for like heavy baton? But that seems like pretty niche. That could be it, but I don't know. Tell me if that is what that is there for, or if that's supposed to be a different card. That seems pretty niche. As Festival Grounds, I'll actually check if people are doing this in Japan. They are not. It does not look like people are playing Festival Grounds in Festival Elite. So, yeah, I don't know. But the deck's not super strong. It's not terrible. It's whatever. It's a pretty generic, uninspiring deck, but that's fine. Then we have Terapagos. Terapagos is a deck I have been playing some, and I've been loving. Mostly, I need to play a little bit more. I was expecting Terapagos to be kind of bad because losing double turbo energy, that's really bad for it. And the energy is an issue. You need to rely on Crispin and Glass Trumpet and Energy Switch and attachments manually, which is okay, but not amazing. Bouffalon also didn't feel great. Like I was getting it down. I played this deck a good few times and enjoyed it. It was really fun. I enjoy Noctowl. And Bouffalon is kind of cool, and like Munkidori and Brave Charm can be really tanky, but I didn't really find that mattering. I played against a lot of Raging Bolt, which just one-shotted it, and I think it was like others. I was just getting one-shot like all the time, so then the tankiness didn't really matter. I mean, it mattered a little. My opponents needed to, commit extra energies or whatever to do it, but they were able to do it. And Terapagos EX isn't super strong. I didn't actually find the Monkey Dories great. I didn't really find any of the other Pokemon great. I actually found myself, I would have rather played my energy count as Grass, Water, Lightning for Crown Opal, which is obviously, it's really good against Raging Bolt EX. It allows you to, it doesn't allow you to one-shot their Pokemon, which is a big issue outside, I guess, Squawkabilly. And then but it does let you wall them entirely, so they need to like gust around you, but they might be able to do that. I don't know exactly how that would go, but I did not find myself really happy at all with the energies. I used Monkey Dory against like Frostlass, I think it was what I was up against or something like that, which I guess Monkey Dory was really good there, but like that's not that common. And then and like they were playing like the Hop Zacian EX, it was that deck, and then at that point they were like barely doing any damage because of the Bouffalon. So Bouffalon is cool. It takes up a lot of bench space. There's a lot of stuff to go into with this deck that I'm not going to get into right now. Because this deck's like not super amazing. I mean, it's decent. I'm gonna put it in B tier to be honest. Like I think it's pretty good, with room to grow. I don't know what that direction is. I feel like the latest Clefairy EX is probably good against the Dragapult. And the Corso Mass Overpod EX is good in some situations. A Mimikyu could be good, but then you have like issues. Like you need to get you need more stuff, especially if you're getting the Bouffalons. You need a lot more bench Pokemon. I have found myself running into bench space issues, like pretty serious bench space issues with the stadium, which is like kind of crazy. So, it's solid, it's a good deck. It's not the flashiest deck, but I do think it's cool. Crazy that it's like the number 10/number 9 deck. 'Cause others, I don't know what's another, to be honest. I was like glancing around, and I just saw like a few random things. But, anyways, the deck's fine. The other, oh, this is also a Noctowl deck, but the Raging Bolt is really good. I'm going to put it actually as the highest deck we've looked at so far. Raging Bolt's really strong still. I like it with the Noctowl a lot, but you do have consistency issues at times. If you had Radiant Cringe and Pokestop, that would obviously be nice. But the deck's still really strong. It's a little less turbo-y, but it's still like decently fast. And you can one-shot stuff, and it's probably the best one-shotting deck. I'm not a massive fan of Gholdengo right now. I think it's okay, but I definitely would rank Raging Bolt above it. Not too much to say about it, though. It's a deck that's been talked about a lot, and I'm a big fan, or I'm not a big fan, but I'm a bigger fan than it was pre-rotation when I was like, I wasn't a big fan of the deck, but I like it now more. And I'm seeing it all the time, and it seems strong when I play against it, and I might have played it a few times. Then we have Lily's Clefairy EX. Oh no, this is the Tera box, which I've represented using Lily's Clefairy EX, which is like kind of silly because it's not really the main Pokemon, but anyways, that's what I have here. The deck is pretty cool. I played with it some. It lacks that like one-shot potential. You could do it with Pikachu, but Pikachu I found was like almost impossible to attack with, and it doesn't even one-shot everything, right? Like it does 300, which is a bunch, but it's not 320 or 330. So, the deck felt a little clunky at times. I mean, you can kind of look at it and say like, oh yeah, that makes sense. The Noctowl engine is good. Apparently, this person played the 80 HP Noctowl. I wouldn't do that. It was 2 retreat, which isn't the biggest deal in it. It's 80 HP, and I feel like that's not that useful. But anyways, Fan Rotom's like cool, and the Ditto's actually cool. I didn't mention that with Terapagos, but that's a pretty nice thing you can do. Sparkling Crystal's good, and that actually helps a lot. It's like almost a really core card to your deck, something you're using a lot. Crispin's really important as well. Pikachu EX, also your ability, like I found I didn't really use it, but I didn't use it because I didn't find places where its ability would have been good that often. Then there's different attacking options. We see the Fighting Ogerpon. A lot of people talk about it just as like a wall breaking effect with Demolish to knock out Pokemon through walls like Mimikyu or whatever, which is fine. Its ability is really good. I think that's really why you'd play it. That's why I'd play it. I think that's amazing. Terapagos EX is really a solid attacker. I talked about it within the Terapagos deck, and it's really solid. It is arguably like the best, most consistent attacker. Lily's Clefairy EX has low HP, which is a bit of an issue. You have Lily's Clefairy EX, Mew EX, Latias EX, which can actually be used against Dragapult. Though Latias EX isn't super easy to use, it's actually pretty hard because you only play 2 Psychics and you can't use Sparkling Crystal. But anyways, it's still good. Latias EX is a really good Pokemon as well. It plays a lot of good Pokemon, and they're just in a box deck together. It's a cool deck, and it's pretty decent. I'll put it in A tier, I guess. I could put it in B tier. I'm not sure, to be honest. It feels like it's coming up a little bit short, but I think every deck in this format feels like that a little bit. Then with Flareon, I have not really messed with this too much. post rotation. I don't think it's anything super spectacular. I'd say it's kind of just like worse than the basic Tera box. Yes, you do have higher HP. It can do like a little bit more damage, a little more consistently, I guess. Well, your deck as a whole isn't more consistent, but your like higher damage is a little more consistent. Sylvaniax opens some interesting options, I guess. I think it's kind of not super good, but you can use it to one-shot Dragapult EX and be a little better there. Lili's Clefairy EX actually trades evenly with Dragapult, but Sylvaniax would trade positively, so that's kind of cool. Lili's Clefairy EX instead trades positively. It could or evenly. It could even trade negatively. If you play Lili's Pearl, though, it could trade positively, which I think is a little underrated right now. Though I haven't really messed with too much. I played it and didn't really find myself using it. But Flareon's like not super good though. Let's be honest. Its attacks aren't super good. They're not terrible. It's okay. The deck's not bad, but it's not super good either. I'll put it at the tail end of. No, I'll put it at the top of C tier. I wouldn't really recommend it, but if you want to play it, you can play it. It's all right. Actually, no, that's more of like a B tier deck. I'll put it below Hop Zacian, I guess, but it's fine. Nothing really to say about it too much. Then we have Gholdengo. I kind of mentioned it with Raging Bull. That's big one-shot potential. There is the Gholdengo plus Dragapult deck. I'm not super familiar with that deck. I've seen it played some. I think it's whatever. I wouldn't play it, to be honest. But it's fine. I mean, nothing really to say about it. It's whatever, but I think they're better separately. That's just what I'd recommend. But then you have Gholdengo, which is like good. It can do big one-shot. It's actually kind of like vulnerable to Dragapult. That's something that I have seen in other spread options. But like Gholdengo EX is strong. Obviously, Energy Search Pro is really good for that one turn, and obviously it's also generally like a weaker ace spec outside of that. It's kind of terrible for anything else. So it's like a big one-turn burst thing, though. You have like an engine built in, which is like okay, it's not super good, but it's better than not having it. It's a decent engine once you have a bunch of Gholdengos, but it's worse than Dragapult by a substantial margin. Code bonus 2 in the active is not. I mean, it's okay. That's pretty good. That's better than Dragapult, but then 1 on the bench is pretty weak. So it's fine. The deck is okay. It's good. No, I said okay, but it's good. I'll put it in the A tier. I don't think it's anything super spectacular in like terms of being interesting, but it is able to take one shots pretty easily. It has good HP, but it's not the fastest deck, and you can find yourself in awkward positions if your opponent like hits you with some spread attack and then like defaults you or something. That can happen. That's bad for any deck, but I don't know. I've seen it like more with Gholdengo, I think. But Gholdengo's like fine enough. Definitely not bad. It's pretty good. It's definitely a top 10 deck. Realistically, probably a top 5 deck. It's pretty close. I think it looks like it will make the top 5 here. Then we have Festival Lead. Festival Lead's pretty bad. I don't really know. No one's played it here on Limitless. I don't know if you heard that sound, but yeah, no one's played it. So Festival Lead is not very good, obviously. Yeah, I'll put it in F tier. It's fun, but that's it. Then we have Slowking. I've played and seen some Slowking. It barely sets up. I'm gonna be completely honest. It's like super sketchy. When it sets up, it's kind of good. I mean, I guess theoretically, like, Kyurem's attack's really good, and there's not really counterplay to it, which is like really good. But it's hard to power up. Cyphermaniac's code breaking is not super strong in the deck. It's like okay, but it's not the strongest supporter. Zadu's not the strongest. You just have these like weird like inconsistencies stacked on top of each other. Zadu is like okay, but it has again the inconsistencies. It has like really high burst potential to just allow you to take these insane knockouts, or you can just completely fall behind the game. It could you can like one shot Dragapult, or you could get rolled over by it. If they just stop you before you're able to get set up at all, then you just lose. Badoo's also not like super great for slowing them down. It can do a little bit, but it's not really going to be carrying you there. Overall, the deck has pretty serious issues. I'm kind of shocked that its win rate's this high. This win rate's obviously it's not amazing. It's pretty neutral. But I think the deck is not good. I'm going to put it in D tier. It's not the worst deck here. It has some cool potential. It's so hard to get going because of its like all the stuff it needs. You need the stadium really. You could use Cyphermaniac's code breaking, but then you're essentially throwing away your supporter for the turn for essentially no value outside of being able to like help like get your attack going, and Zadu's really inconsistent. Like it can be good enough, and you have reversal. It's not like you can't attack ever, but it's definitely a deck with serious issues. I think I played it on the channel, and if you saw it there, you saw that it had issues. Probably, I don't remember what happened in that video, but I assume that's what happened. Then we have Ceruledge. Ceruledge is whatever. I've actually seen a lot of Ceruledge on the ladder. I think it's like worse Gholdengo. But it's like Gholdengo's fine. Gholdengo's pretty good, and Ceruledge isn't like that much worse in my opinion. A little more self-sufficient. You don't need like these big combos in the late game to get knockouts. I'll put it in B tier. It's okay. It's fine. Nothing really crazy there. Its weakness thing doesn't really matter either, because the next deck is Archaludon. Archaludon is a deck that's actually really good. If you've not paid attention, Archaludon. So I think this might be the best deck in the game. Oh, I cannot see that. Okay, so it plays. Oh, I played this list. I didn't really find myself liking the darkness stuff, or no, the darkness energy and Monkey Dory. But Pekka Brute Bonnet plus Squawkabilly, and like I mean, there's different things, but like the big thing is the Brute Bonnet Pekka plus I guess Perilous Jungle, allowing you to take turn one donks, which is good. You're not going to consistently win games. It's not your main strategy, but 5 to 10% of the time you're gonna win games through this. I'd say 10% of the time you can go for it, and 75% of the time that you can go for it, you'll get it. So it's just going to increase your win rate. If you miss it, you don't instantly lose, I guess, but it can be pretty bad if you miss it. You might be in a spot where you don't really have anything on your bench that's good, but outside of a little bit of poison stuff, like kind of set up, but it's pretty good. Archaludon has a lot of HP for a stage 1, so that's good. You have a decent attack, and you can boost it a lot with Binding Mochi and Poison to be not quite one-shotting, but being really close, which is okay, because they will actually die to the poison, potentially coming back into your turn, which could be really good. And you have the pack run, which is like essentially a single prize attack, which is really nice. Again, I think the Monkey Dory isn't super good, but I've actually attacked with pack run, and that was pretty good. And then there's not too much to say about the deck. Archaludon is a really solid, consistent Pokemon, and it felt fine. I was like a little worried about being able to get the energy in the discard. It's like a little awkward. It's, in my opinion, one of the harder parts of the deck to like for that to actually happen. Surprisingly, like it seems like it should be pretty easy, but I just don't find myself always being able to do it. But yeah, I mean, like it's fine. So yeah, the deck's really good. It's just I think it checks all the boxes. I'm gonna put it as the best deck. I'm not gonna put it in S tier, but I'll put it in A tier. Archaludon is really good. It can do so many things, and the turn one donk potential is really good. And there's like counterplay to it, but I mean, if you get the turn one knockout, that's still really nice. If you don't win on the spot, that's like okay. That's obviously way better if you win on the spot and you're kind of sacrificing some of your stuff to get a turn one knockout, but you're definitely going to be hurting your opponent in that situation as well by a bunch. Potentially really hindering them a lot as well. Then we have Zoroark EX. Zoroark is okay. Pretty much the stuff I said about hops. Like it's a little disappointing. It's worse than the hop stack. I'll put it in the middle of the C tier here, I guess. It has issues. I talked about it in a video with Noivern. I said like that actually is a potential inclusion in the deck to improve its power, but that's a sign that the deck's not super strong, because Noivern also isn't that good. Its damage is like pretty bad, so the fact that that's a way to potentially improve the deck isn't really a good sign. And then we have the and yeah, there's not too much to say about the deck though. It's like you have the N-Star Mantan, which can be like a snipe option, which is good, kind of like the main build around, but not consistently great. Someone mentioned like, oh, you could take 3 prizes if your opponent has like Mew EX in play. I guess that's like a thing you can do, but people are playing Mew EX some, like say in Tera box. I guess it's like you could target them down there, but I think you're gonna struggle just in general. Like and Zoroark EX isn't very strong, so that's just kind of where it is. It just doesn't do that much damage, which is unfortunate, and doesn't have great other upside. Like and Mantan, its attack is worse than like Dragapult in general, in my opinion. They're a little different, or no, they're pretty different, but yeah, and Zoroark is like fine, but I would not really recommend it that much. Then we have the Iono stack here because I don't know. It's here because it's the 4th trainer. It's pretty bad. You could play it with the Raging Bolt, and you could not play it with that. I don't know. I wouldn't really recommend it. It's not like the worst deck, I guess, but I'll put it in the bottom of D tier. I'll put it above Mamoswine, I guess. I don't know. It's not super good, but whatever. It's here. And then we have, oh yeah, and then we talked about Hydreigon already. Tell me down below though what you think about this tier list, what you'd change. But I hope you enjoyed. And as I said, the metagame is cool. It's like still developing. There's like a bunch of very playable, like these A tier decks are, they're all really solid. The B tier decks are also pretty good. I feel like Terapagos is pretty underrated. Maybe. I don't know. Like it was displayed a lot more than I was expecting, so maybe I just wasn't quite aware of how much people are playing it. Though I guess it's like a pretty big gap between it and Gardevoir. Overall, I think the meta is pretty fun. Not just Dragapult all the time, which I was kind of worried about. But I hope you enjoy. Consider liking, subscribing, hitting the bell, all the good stuff. And as always, I'm excited to see you in the next video.